Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It's my singular honor to congratulate you. I know that transfiguration is divine, but you know, as humans, in a way, we can be transfigured, just the way you moved away from where we were sparring to now, being the referee. I would like to wish you the best in your new role and pledge our support as the opposition in ensuring that this House is indeed the House of the people and we process business on behalf of our people. Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on certainly like you observed, whereas the rules say may, the coaching of the Administration of Parliament Act, particularly Section 6E4, is shall. So it does not leave room for us to presuppose to do or not to do. So we are to comply with the rules and the law that gives birth to the rules, Right Honourable Speaker, to lay our alternative policy statements. Also, for the attention of the House, Right Honourable Speaker, we take note of the fact that we worked without a final budget framework paper and without a finally printed charter of fiscal responsibility. I hope you indulge the Minister of Finance in the future not to lead the House into speculation, that we work with final figures in the future. Also, Right Honourable Speaker, in absence of alternatives that have been laid today, we worked using the indicative figures and the BFP initially as proposed to come up with our policy alternatives. So we are ready to literally lay all the alternatives, Right Honourable Speaker. So may I invite my alternate Chancellor of the Exchequer to lead the team to lay the alternatives, Right Honourable Speaker.
Without a budget, are you sure I don't have? I have my personal one. Chair, as instructed by my boss, I take the opportunity to lay first an alternative ministerial policy statement for finance planning and economic development for financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honourable Shadow Minister. This will refer to the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I also want to join my honourable members in congratulating you upon attaining that office. I rise under Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament. I, being the Shadow Minister for Human Rights, I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy.
Shadow Minister for Human Rights?
Yes, because it is in one docket. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for justice and constitutional affairs, financial year 2022-2023.
Thank you, Honourable. A statement referred to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
Number 3, Gender, Labour and Social Development.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Statement referred to the Committee on Gender.
Number 4, Public Service.
Congratulations, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Public Service for the financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chiaga. The statement is referred to the Committee on Public Service and Local Government.
Number 5, the Presidency.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Nyeko Derek, Shadow Minister for Presidency and Member of Parliament for Makindye East. Right Honorable Speaker, before I lay the alternative policy statement, I must mention that the Minister did not lay the policy statement. Right Honorable Speaker, this docket has very key important votes that include the Office of the Presidency.
Honorable, let's make that clarification. I was standing here. The Honorable Mireba Balanda laid the statement here on 15th of March. So if you are not in the House, then it's you to blame. But the statement is available, so clerk, please avail the Minister, the
Right
Shadow Minister,
Honorable
the statement.
Speaker, however, I made my appeal in the policy budget framework. So I beg to lay the alternative policy for the Shadow Ministry for the Presidency 2020-2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nyeko. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Presidential Affairs. Next.
Number 6, the Kampala Capital City Authority.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me also join other members to congratulate you. For record purposes, I'm Kawalia Abubeka, the area member of Parliament for Rubaga North, the Shadow Minister for Kampala. I therefore lay the alternative ministerial policy statement for Kampala Capital City Authority, financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
The statement stands referred to the Committee on Presidential Affairs. There is a clarification I want to make, members. Shadow ministers don't make ministerial policy statements. They make alternative policy statements. So when you're reading, for purposes of the answered, please, what you're laying on table is an alternative policy statement, not an alternative ministerial policy statement.
Number 7, Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Bed Bwanika, Shadow Minister, Agriculture. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. Statement stands referred to the Committee on Agriculture.
Education and Sports.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Brenda Nakenya, the Shadow Minister for Education. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for education and sports for the financial year 2022. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Education.
Number 9, Defense and Veteran Affairs.
Right Honorable Speaker, receive my congratulations. On behalf of our Shadow Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, allow me lay the alternative policy statement for the sector of defense and veteran affairs for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Nambeshe. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Defense.
Number 10, Internal Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to join my colleagues to congratulate you upon ascending to that office. Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance with Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure, I, being the Shadow Minister of Internal Affairs, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the for Internal Affairs for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Defense.
Number 11, Health.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me join the Honorable Gentlemen and the Honorable Ladies who congratulated you upon getting that office. Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that you evoke your prerogative power to ask one of your clerks to go to the library and bring to you the ministerial policy statement of the Ministry of Health, such that you ascertain our claims. It's because while preparing the alternative policy statement, I had to interact with it, and sincerely speaking, it wasn't very helpful. And you're the Speaker of both the party in government and us in opposition, so we need to protect this Parliament. Under Rule 147, and as the Shadow Minister of Health, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement of the Ministry of Health.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Health. Honorable, I've taken note of your request, but unfortunately, we already referred that statement to the Committee on Health. The House now cannot come to constitute itself into a body that is going to scrutinize, because what you want us to do is scrutinize, okay? We cannot do it as a House. That's the work of the committee. So let's wait for the report of the committee, where you sit, ensure that indeed all those issues are brought out for better improvement next time. Next.
Works and Transports.
Right Honorable Speaker, I will also wish to join others who have congratulated you. I'm the happiest as your former lecturer and colleague in one of the big parties in the country. I have no doubt they're going to do a very good job. I would like to take this opportunity also as the Shadow Minister of Works and Transport to lay the alternative policy statement for the works and transport sector. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi was my lecturer at law school, Makerere, where he taught me commercial law, and I was a very good student. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure. Next.
Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in your opening
statements, we instructed the ministers, including the Minister of Finance, to explain circumstances under which they didn't file the policy statements. They didn't lay policy statements. Right Honorable Speaker, it is instructive within our laws, and it's good you mentioned you studied the law, that presentation of policy statements is a matter of law and the requirement of this Honorable House. The Honorable Minister of Finance, of Foreign Affairs, came to the floor in his explanation, and I beg to respond, mentioned that he was in Changkwans with the ministers, together with the ambassadors. Right Honorable Speaker, there is no requirement within our laws that ambassadors have to first go to Changkwans. And it cannot be an explanation by a foreign minister that they could not lay a policy statement within the timeline with the timelines just because they are in Changkwans. And I wish to add that the Minister of Foreign Affairs has three ministers. They had all the time to prepare and present a policy statement in time. It is regrettable, and Honorable Speaker, I beg that, Honorable Speaker, I beg that Parliament, looking at Rule 52, Sub-Rule 3 of the Rules of Procedure, a statement in explanation of any matter by a minister must be made in writing. They made the oral explanation, and the rule is very instructive, Right Honorable Speaker. The statement explaining circumstances under which they failed to comply with the requirement of the law must be in writing. The rule is instructive. Rule 52, Sub-Rule 3 of the Rules of Procedures of this House. Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that the ministers are instructed to produce and to deliver written statements in explanation of the circumstances under which they are unable, but as well as the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, and on behalf of the opposition, we reject the explanation that the Foreign Ministry was camped in Changwanzi with ambassadors. That's unacceptable and not within our laws. Notwithstanding, Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Nkunyingi Muwada, the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, and as requested by Honorable Shivaria, I represent Chadondo East, formerly represented by President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert. Under Rule 147 of our Rules of Procedure, being the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the sector of foreign affairs. I beg to lay.
Colleagues, sometimes we shall be leaving you to speak so that you go when you're satisfied. Yeah, because like Honorable Muwada had these issues, he felt they should go on record, they've gone on record. And, but what I want to tell you is we shall be having a meeting with the leader of government business to see how best this can be done better, so that next time we don't have such a situation. Ministers have written explaining to the Speaker why all this has happened, but I felt it would be fair, instead of it remaining between us, the presiding officers, or it to go also on record for members to hear why it happened. Otherwise, if we don't do it that way, then it might be business as usual. But we are going to work together. We are not competing to see who has squeezed who here. No, we are going to work as a team to ensure both the legislature and the executive do work together for the benefit of Ugandans. I think that should be our focus. And also both sides of the House. And I'm happy Lope has really helped on this. Next.
Lands, Housing and Urban Development.
Also, the statement stands referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Lands. You people, we don't want cross-pollination on the floor. I'm seeing...
Right, Honorable Speaker, in accordance to Rule 47 of the Rules of Procedure. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for lands, housing and urban development. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure. Next.
Energy and Minerals Development.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Hoima City and Forum for Democratic Party, I congratulate you upon your elevation as Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Under Rule 147 of the Rules of Procedure, I beg to lay on the table the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Nyakato. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Tourism and Wildlife.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. For clarity to my brother, Honorable Maurice Chivalya, I am Masava Karim, the Member of Parliament representing Industrial Division in Mbale City, and the Shadow Minister of Wildlife, Tourism and Antiques. I would like to take this opportunity to add my voice to the honorable colleagues in congratulating you, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, on your ascension to the second highest position in this institution of Parliament. And I do pray that the Almighty God leads you and guides you as you serve the country. I move under Rule 147 of our Rules of Procedure, and I beg to lay the alternative ministerial policy statement of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiques for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry. Next.
Trade, Industry and Cooperatives.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Buhweju, I want to congratulate you upon your election as the Deputy Speaker of the 11th Parliament. I congratulate you. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to lay on the table an alternative policy statement, Trade, Industries and Cooperatives, 2022-2023, I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Trade, Industry, Tourism and Industry.
Water and Environment.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm Shamim Malende, the Shadow Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, also woman member of Parliament, Kampala District. Right Honorable Speaker, I bring you greetings from the people of Kampala, and they are looking forward to your leadership, and have told me to convey this message that they hope that this Parliament is going to look at the issues affecting the people of Kampala and indeed from other regions for the better of this country, Your Worship. Oh, Right Honorable Speaker, sorry. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise under Rule 147 on behalf of the Shadow Minister of Water and Environment, that's Honorable Christine Kayana Chimwero, to lay the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Water and Environment for the financial year 2022-2023. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement.
Thank you, Honorable Malende. The statement stands referred to the Committee on Natural Resources.
Local government.
Thank you so much. Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Betty Ethonaluyima, the woman MP for the very district that everyone needs in order to come here, Wakiso district. I'm also the Shadow Minister for Local Government. Allow me to join the rest of the members of Parliament and all Ugandans to congratulate you on the assumption of the office of the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. And similarly, I congratulate Right Honorable Anita Among on the assumption of the office of the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, just before I lay on table the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Local Government for the financial year 2022-2023, Right Honorable Speaker, I request your office to indulge in the matter that was earlier resolved by parliamentarians seated here, as we ask your office to ensure that local governments are catered for and that they also stop that the consolidated fund, the Ministry of Finance rather, stops and ends the system that it has put forward to ensure that the little that is collected, that revenue that is collected by local governments, has to first go through the consolidated fund and then later on they access any service they need. I ask your office to indulge as we discussed it here. We gave it time. May the Right Honorable Lanya rest in peace, because he presided over that matter and we were all in accordance. I thank you members for standing for local government. Let's give issues of local governments that due diligence we need. It was even very clear amongst every one of us here. We've just seen these matters again come up. Right Honorable Speaker, those issues are contained in here and we ask, let's give due diligence to these matters in here. So in accordance,
colleagues, just let's be courteous to each other. Yeah, we lose nothing, isn't it? Because any time any of you will be on the floor. So it's good when we listen to each other. And we shall have a good flow. Because sometimes when we move outside there, people say, but what were you doing? This one was shouting from here, this one from here. So let's listen to each other so that whoever is listening to us outside there can follow the debate promptly. So let's listen to it.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in accordance to Rule 147 of the Rules of Parliament, I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for Ministry of Local Government for the financial year 2022-23. I beg to lay.
Honourable Minister of Finance, I hope you've taken note of the members' concern. And Honourable Prime Minister, Right Honourable Prime Minister, you've taken note in relation to the motion which was passed by this House, urging the Minister of Finance, urging government to let the local governments have their money, not for it to be deducted at source. It first go to the consolidated fund and then is appropriated, then sent back to the local governments. So go study, I request that you study the motion that was passed here, and then when we are processing the budget, you need to update the committee on what you've resolved as government Honourable Minister. You need to respond to this? Because I didn't want to raise a debate over it.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not trying to raise the debate, but this is a question of law. I will have to go to the committees like you've guided and eventually come back to this house. There is a mechanism we are putting in place to see that the challenges which have been happening in the past do not happen in the next financial year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister of Finance. So the statement stands referred to the Committee on Public Service and Local Government.
Information and Communication Technology.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and congratulations on your new mandate. My name is Joyce Bagala Mtwatwa. I am the Woman Member of Parliament for Mityana District and the Shadow Minister for Information and Anti-Corruption. I beg to lay the alternative policy statement for the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance for the financial year 2022-2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honourable. The statement stands referred to the Committee on ICT.
East African Community Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to join my colleagues in congratulating you on the behalf of the people of Amoro and actually in general. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to lay the alternative policy statement of the Ministry of East Africa Community Affairs. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honourable Gilbert. The statement stands referred to the Committee on East African Affairs. And Attorney General, if you're here, Honourable Gilbert has an issue he would want to raise on the floor. But considering how I had prepared for today's session, I request you meet with the Prime Minister and we'll discuss that issue. If you're not satisfied, then we shall get for it space next time on the floor. They are done? Yes.